What if I told you that the thing that is actually keeping you stuck is just simply you not knowing who you are? And knowing who you are is less about what you do, but how you do the things that you do. That if you were presented the same situation with 5 other people, you would all approach it differently. If I knew what I know now at the age of 16 or 17, I'm sure I'd be 100 steps ahead of where I am right now. There are codes to this life, the ones that I'd like to call the cheat codes. The people that have mastered them have moved in this life differently, and one of them is self-awareness. It's a psychological profiling that helps you understand who you are and how you show up in different facets of life. My name is Joy M. Kezia, and I am a lawyer and a certified life coach with a great liking to human psychology and the things that actually make the world move around. On this channel, I share 3 things: faith and personal growth, family, and femininity. So if you are a regular, thank you for coming back. And if this is your first time here, welcome to the channel. This particular segment airs every Monday, and it is called God, Growth, and Goals. When you know how you show up, you then are able to amplify your strength and leverage your weaknesses, because every human being actually has strength and weaknesses, right? But knowing how to balance them, knowing how to play around with them is actually what will make you win in this life. So there's so many ways of psychological profiling. Some use it for relationships, some use it for work, some use it for how they show up in the dynamics of money and business. But there is the most important of them all that actually tackles the full human being. The study of temperaments dates from way back 400 BC. Yes, you heard me right, before the coming of Christ. And they are written all over the Bible. Different personalities in the Bible show up in the ways that they show up based off of their temperament. So if God literally could make people and make them different and show up differently for different things, why not get to understand why he did that and what you need to do to show up as the person that you are meant to show up as? Now, I want to define temperaments, but really there's no accurate definition of what it is. But I'll give you this analogy. If you have a phone, an iPhone or an Android phone, you probably have an iOS system or an Android system. The one that runs the phone, the one you keep updating at night when they tell you there's a new system upgrade available, that one. And on your iOS, you are able to download apps: TikTok, X, Instagram, YouTube, and all the other apps that you use. Now, look at your operating system, the iOS or the Android, as your innate born self. That's what makes the core of you. And that is what a temperament is. It's who you naturally are. And the apps that are downloaded on the phone, which are, the extra systems, is your personality. Personality can be learned. It is shaped by your childhood. It is shaped by the things that you've learned, the people you've interacted with, how your parents behaved, who you encountered in life shapes your personality. But your personality is still hinged on your innate character, your innate inborn value, which is the temperament. Now, temperaments are like our DNA, and they are passed on from generation to generation. You will find that in yourself, they are bits of your mother and bits of your father, or 80% of your mother and 20% of your father, and vice versa, because they travel over time in lineages like a DNA. A temperament is the primary determinant of what you like or don't like, of how you behave in a certain situation. I've said that before. It is the determinant of how you show up naturally without being taught anything or without being boxed or disciplined into a certain way. It is basically how you just naturally are. For instance, I remember in our primary school, there was this group of boys, and they were so loud and stubborn. They were the kind who no teacher would ever keep quiet. No amount of discipline would ever make them shut up. They were just those kinds of people that if one of them fell sick and didn't come to school, it would be a lost day. So this one time in my primary 6, there was a chicken pox epidemic. What do they call that word? I think it was like a local epidemic in the school. So all of those boys fell sick. Incidentally, I also caught the chicken pox in that moment. But when we came back to school after a week, everyone was like, the class was silent. Nothing was going on. Even the teachers would be in class and they would be teaching while they are. But the class is not lively as it should be. So do you ever wonder why in such classrooms there were always the quiet people, the ones that always sat in the corner and just kept quiet? There were also the backbenchers that used to make a lot of noise, okay? There were also the wiseacres who used to always put up their hands, teacher me, teacher me, teacher me. And then maybe there were also the people that were just, let's just go with the flow. You fit in anywhere. If you take us here, we go. If you take us here, we go. Do you ever wonder who taught these people to be those people? Who taught you to be the person that you are? Now, there are 4 basic temperaments. I'm going to tell you exactly what. So we're going to do a little test so you're not biased by the final information. And you and I are going to find out who you are. Ready for the test? Get your pens, get your papers, get your phone. Let's do the test. So each question has 4 answers and you pick the one that's most accurate to you. Not the one that you want to be, not the character that you admire, not the character of when you met Jesus Christ and became born again. No. What you would naturally do without being forced, without anybody watching you, without being criticized by anybody. What's that thing you do naturally? So let's go to question 1. Number 1, at a party, you are most likely to A, tell stories and meet everyone new. B, organize activities and get everyone moving, get things moving. C, stick to the friend that you came with and have a deep conversation. D, chill, listen, enjoy the atmosphere. Get the most accurate to you, not the one you'd want to be, okay? Question 2. If you were an animal, who would you be? A, a parrot, very colorful, chatty, fun. B, a lion, king of the jungle, you know. C, an owl, just there with a lot of wisdom, seated passively, looking at all the other birds like they're, D, a dolphin, just swimming and being in the water and beautiful. What animal would you be? Let's quickly go to question 3. In a friend group, you are usually A, the life of the party, B, the leader, the planner, the one that came up with the idea, C, the advisor, the one who everyone goes to talk, to ask for advice, like the mommy of the group, D, the laid back person, the one that just goes with the flow, the one that's friends with everybody in the group. I mean, no besties, nothing, you're just friends with everyone. So we have question 4. If you had a class project, okay, what is your first thought? A, this is fun, we get to do it together as friends, right? B, I'll make sure we win and we get the best grade. C, I hope it's well organized and meaningful. D, I hope we can just finish quickly. Let's go to question 5. Your biggest struggle is A, forgetting commitments or doing things last minute. B, being too bossy, nosy, or being extremely pushy. C, overthinking and moodiness. Your moods are swinging all the time. Like, oh my God, why are these people like this? And D, procrastinating or taking long to decide on things. Question 6. Are we together? Are we together at this point? Have you found out which letters are appealing more to you? Question 6. Your time management looks like this. A, you're always late and you have so many programs in one day. B, you're early and ready to go. C, prepared, right outfit. You thought through this thing. Should I go? Should I not go? You thought through it and really made the best decision. D, flexible. Go with the flow. Are we meeting? No. Are we still not meeting? It's okay, cool. Whatever time you guys say you're coming, I'm coming. So what does your time management look like? Number 7, if you are picking a movie to watch, what is your first choice? A romantic comedy. B, an action film where the hero saves the day. C, a sad movie with a happily ever after. D, a family or Christian-based plot. Be very truthful. Be very, very truthful. Because that's the only way that you can get the most out of this test. Okay? Number 8, in arguments, you usually A, joke around and lighten the mood. B, push your point until you win. C, withdraw or get emotional. D, avoid conflict. Are we together? Question 9. If you found out that your friend is going through something, A, take him or her out for enjoyment. B, find out what it is and deal with it. C, give him or her the best advice for the situation. D, visit him or her. Okay. Take the one that best suits or applies to you naturally. Question 10, what stresses you out the most? A, being ignored or left out. B, when things move too slowly. C, when things feel chaotic. D, when there's conflict or drama. Take time to think. You can pause this video and reflect. Think. Question 11, when stressed, you A, talk it out or distract yourself. B, get frustrated and push harder. C, retreat, analyze, maybe spiral emotionally and just, why are things not going my way? D, shut down, avoid it, sleep. Finally, question 12, and I hope by now you've seen the pattern. You see what either you have too many A's or too many B's or too many C's or too many D's. Finally, if someone offends you, A, you forgive quickly and move on. B, you confront them head on. C, you hold it in but mentally write them off. D, you brush it off to keep the peace. Okay, congratulations. Now, before we get the answers, first of all, you need to know there's no good temperament and no bad temperament. It's really just how you show up, and you can always use your strength and play to their advantage, or you can leverage your weaknesses, because some weaknesses actually can be manipulated into strength. You know that? Yeah. So I'm going to tell you which temperament you are. If you have a letter that passes more than 7, it's 7 and above, that's your dominant temperament. If you have a temperament that has 5 and above-ish, that's your secondary temperament. So you're going to realize that you can also show up twice. You can show up as 2 temperaments, but there's always a primary one and a secondary one. Then some people are full, like 9 out of 11 of an A or of a B or whatever. So you'll find that that person is almost a full, that temperament. If you are mostly an A, you're the charming sanguine. You're the most versatile of all the types. A sanguine can be anything. If you put them in a situation of introversion, they can keep quiet. You put them in a situation of extroversion, they can like shout or anything. They can be anything. The sanguines are the life of the party. They're the ones starting conversations with everyone. They have friends from all walks of life. They have younger friends, older friends. A sanguine is very versatile. They're everywhere, okay? But mostly they bring joy. They bring life, joy, happiness to any situation. Now, in the Bible, the person that presents that the most is Peter. Peter, one of the best friends of Jesus. You remember that guy? The one that struck the soldier when they came to arrest Jesus? That one. The one that was always, Jesus, you're the Son of God. That one. Yeah, that one. Peter. And you see, the thing that Jesus said about him was, Peter, upon you, the rock, I will build my church. Think about it. Before you think, I'm too friendly, I make too many friends. Nah, just think about it. The joy that you bring is such a foundation for the Church of Christ to rise. It's such a foundation for any organization. It's such a foundation for any friend group. It's such a foundation for, like, just think about it like that. B, if you were mostly Bs, you're the commander choleric. Now, your temperament is the most focused and productive of them all. If you want something done, give it to a choleric. They will not sleep, they will not eat, they will not rest until they have done it. Usually you show up as very bossy, as very, very serious. You're too serious for life. You're too, what is it? Like, man, relax. You usually are that person that they're telling, calm down, relax. Yeah. You're the wiseacres, the ones who used to put their hands up in class all the time. Teacher me, teacher me. You get your work done on time. You treat everything like a project. Even relationships are like a project. Like, I need to get this done from point A to point B. Once that is done, usually you don't care about relationships. You don't care who gets hurt along the way, as long as what needs to be done gets done. Now, one such person in the Bible is the Apostle Paul. From a Pharisee to meeting, Jesus in the form of his person appearing to him as he was going to persecute the apostles in the book of Acts, and becoming a full apostle, servant of the Most High God, like productive. He was in prison and he was writing letters and saying, don't do this, like, to the church in Corinth, to the church in Galatia, to the Ephesians, very self-driven. Yeah, so you have natural abilities to be very productive, very hard workers, and to get things done. Like, you make for great bosses some of the time. Yeah. And if you were mostly C, you are the creator melancholy. The ones that are critical thinkers, they think through everything. They relate everything to everything. They do great research. The kind where if you were seated with them in an organization, they know where this is going. They've studied the history of the organization. They know who was fired for what. And if you go in their position, they're able to accurately predict for you that you are also going to go down the same drain. They're the critical thinkers, but they're also great advisors. They're the guys who are going to be like, guys, calm down, calm down. Sanguine, too much noise. Choleric, you're going to just mess this up. Guys, let's come to the drawing board, okay? Let's just come to the drawing board. This is what I suggest. They are great strategists. Like, they will literally show you how great a thing can get or how bad a thing can get. And they usually give, like I've said, the best advice. One such person in the Bible is Moses, the guy that liberated the Israelites from Egypt. Yeah, that one. Because, tell me how, if you're not a great thinker and strategist, you can lead hundreds of thousands of people across a desert for 40 years and you're still sane, you have sanity. Cannot be me. But, well, he was also seen overthinking things. For instance, when the Israelites for a very long time nagged him about, why didn't you leave us in Egypt, what. One time he was very upset and he just struck the rock. Yet he had been told by God to speak to the rock and water comes out. So as a melancholy, they are deep thinkers, but also the deep thinking can take a negative twist or turn. They're the kind who you annoy and they will keep you. One day when you least expect it, they will strike back. But also, they're great writers, they're great artists, because they think deeply, okay? If you were mostly a D, you're the comforter phlegmatic. The most likable of all the types, the most likable. With a phlegmatic, they go with the flow. They don't make anybody's life difficult. They're coming to visit you, ask them what would you like to eat. They're like, anything you have. We're friends, don't worry. Water, let's drink. Chapati, let's eat. They are very easygoing. Usually if you find like children playing in a friend group, the one that everyone wants in their friend group, sort of like the likable one, that is usually the phlegmatic. Now, they're usually, because of their peace-loving nature, they're very comforting and peace-loving nature, they also tend to be less self-driven. They're always going with the flow. They're the followers, never the leaders. And so their lives get lost in that mambo-jumbo. They never take initiative to be better by themselves. They're not self-driven, One of such character in the Bible is Abraham, the father of nations, the guy that was just 70 years old living in his father's house. Like, no self-drive, no ambition. He was married, but he didn't even care. Are we having a child? Are we not having a child? We're just living, we're existing, okay? And so you will find that the beauty about that is that also God gets to use such people, because you honestly cannot be a father of nations if you don't have the ability to be a peacemaker, if you don't have the ability to solve conflict. Phlegmatics are the people who are always mediating group quarrels. Guys, can we not fight? Guys, what's going on? Guys, can we please, they're just trying to make sure so and so quarreled with so and so. Can we fix this? Can we mend this? Those are the phlegmatics. Now, if you have found yourself in any of these temperaments, like I've said, none of them is bad. None of them is like absolutely good, but their strength and they are weaknesses. Now, if you've come to this point of this video, I'd like for you to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because in the next couple of weeks, the next 4 episodes, we're going to be looking at how each of the temperaments shows up in work, in relationships, in parenting, and in faith. So basically, your temperament and the fullness of your personal growth is going to be shown up. So basically, your temperament and its fullness in your personal growth is what you are going to learn. And trust me, once you have that in your 10 fingers, you're going to move differently. I'd like to leave you with a little nugget, okay? So I want you to guess my temperament. Over time, I've been called the life of the party. I am always bringing the jokes, the games, the laughter. I'm a people collector. I have friends in every sphere of life, and I make sure that my friends are friends with my other friends. I had the task to pick bridesmaids and I couldn't pick. I just had my 8 friend groups on the table, and I asked which of you in these friend groups is willing to represent the friend group to be a bridesmaid. And the ones who couldn't had children who became flower girls. So 8 flower girls, 8 bridesmaids, just to make sure everyone is like included in this whole thing. Also, I am the kind that will keep you. You'll piss me off once, twice, the third time, I'll detach. I'll look at you and know, okay, this person, this is who they are, and I'm not giving them another chance. But also, I will have to do you like you've done me, just to drive the point home. So that when you're like, Joy, how dare you? I'm like, do you remember? Do you remember? Do you remember? 3 strikes. So in the comment section, guess what temperament or what blend of temperaments am I? And also do tell me in the comments what you have found, what your temperament is, which one you're looking forward to understanding and learning, because also temperaments help you to read people. You know how your friends will act or react to things. You know how your partner will act or react to things. So if you study yourself and you study them, guaranteed 100%. That is the greatest cheat code of life. Until next time, I love you. God bless you.